Hello, hello, hello. I have some absolutely crazy news to go over with you today. We've got a judge in New York that is threatening to have Donald J. Trump arrested. He's trying to gag him, he's trying to stop him from telling his followers the truth about what's happening to him in New York. And we're going to be going through all of that today. So, thank you so much for being with me. I'm going to go ahead and jump into tonight's news update. President Joe Biden tells Iran, the United States did not attack you, and shares that Israel and Israel alone did the attack in Iran and killed Iran's head general. Trump's new stock drops big time, only to rebound after the real truth about their financial situation comes out. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene continues to try to oust Speaker Mike Johnson while threatening to hand the House majority back to Hakeem Jeffries of New York. Plus, the hush money judge, Judge Merchan in New York, threatens to have Donald Trump jail for talking about his daughter, who is raising money secretly for Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Representative Adam Schiff. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out, so thank you so much. Let's go ahead and jump into this big news update. I have some sad breaking news. The island of Taiwan has suffered a 7.5 magnitude earthquake early this morning in Taiwan. Buildings are falling over, roads are cracking open, bridges are swaying and breaking. I don't have any details about how many deaths there are or just how bad it is, because this is a brand new breaking story that just happened minutes ago. But again, it's a 7.5 magnitude earthquake in Taiwan. Our prayers and hopes and good feelings go out to the people of Taiwan as they deal with this nightmare. Nearly a month ago, firefighters booed Attorney General Letitia James in New York during a department ceremony. Nicholas Garofis, a federal judge in New York, claimed that the firefighters did this against Letitia James because they are racist. Garofis stated, "I've lived in New York City all my life. I know what the problem is, and believe me, front and center is what happened the other day. This doesn't have to do with politics. This has to do with race." So because these firefighters booed a Black woman, they're now being called racist. Because they like Donald Trump, they're automatically being called racist. These are hardworking people that put their lives on the line every day, and they just don't agree with the Attorney General and her behavior. And so they let her know by booing her, and now they're being called racist. They're being labeled racists. It's terrible. This Trump-hating judge is willing to call anybody that likes Donald Trump a racist. So if you like Donald Trump or you plan to vote for him, you're a racist, according to this judge in New York City. To be honest, I think people who hate Donald Trump are really just annoyed that everything seems to be working out in his favor. Every time he seems cornered, he finds a way out. Not only did he get his bond lowered by almost $280 million, he paid it in full, which means he can now appeal this crazy radical Letitia James ruling where she tried to fine him $454 million through Judge Arthur Engoron. Even if Trump does lose the appeal, which many people say he won't, it likely wouldn't be able to enforce the fine until well after the election, because Donald Trump will then appeal and take this all the way to the Supreme Court. With that being said, I do have some news about Donald Trump's new stock company with Truth Social. It was trading around $60 per share. Then it was announced that they took a $58 million loss last year, causing the stock to drop by $13 per share. However, Trump and his team announced that the company, although it lost money while getting up and running, actually has $200 million in cash and is completely debt free. Twitter ran at a loss for over a decade and then sold for $40 billion. So, unless you understand how much it costs to get a business up and running, you would see this as, oh my gosh, they're losing money like crazy. But every company loses money while they get up and running. That's why they have investors. And it's not really losing money. What they should have said was, they spent $58 million, not that it took a $58 million loss. But again, anything linked to Donald Trump, the mainstream media immediately pounces and tries to shame and humiliate him. But the reality is, they've got $200 million in cash, according to the organization. Now, back in Washington, Trump has lashed out at some Republican members of Congress who decided, we don't want to do this anymore. We're going to resign early and screw our party over. For some context, the Republican House majority is paper thin, and it's nearly non existent, in fact. In response to Mike Gallagher's decision to resign early, but wait until after the date when his seat could be replaced, Trump stated, "Never forget our cowards and weaklings. Such a disgrace." Now, he's not wrong. Many of these Republicans are retiring early, almost as if they're trying to hand the majority back to Hakeem Jeffries, back to the Democrats. Now, just to give you an idea of how bad it is, if two Republicans vote against House Speaker Mike Johnson, then there is no majority. Now, let's be honest. Republicans fought hard to get this majority in the House, but have literally done nothing with it. They've accomplished nothing for the American people. Even the continuing resolutions and the new spending bills were basically rewrites of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. So they haven't even done anything original for their party members and their voters. All right, now, if you've been watching my channel recently, you already know that Mike Johnson is making plenty of enemies inside of the Republican Party. For instance, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is currently trying to oust Mike Johnson from his leadership position because of caving when it came to sending aid to Ukraine before fixing the United States border. Greene bashed Johnson, stating he completely surrendered all power we had in the House to stop horrendous crimes by illegals when he fully funded Biden's deadly open border without a fight. Despite her critique, Mike Johnson defended himself on Fox News. He stated, "With the smallest margin in U.S. history, we're sometimes going to get legislation that we don't like." How about rally the party? Unify the party and quit losing. I'm so sick of these guys losing. It's crazy. What do you think? Is Mike Johnson a good guy who's just trying to hold everything together? Or is he just a total wimp and has no skill at negotiating? Let me know in the comments. Okay, now, although, let me switch gears here. Let me switch gears for a second. Do you think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is putting the majority in the House at risk by trying to get rid of Mike Johnson? Or do you think it's time for new leadership? Maybe say keep Mike or goodbye Mike. That way I can see really quickly what you guys are thinking. All right, now listen to this. Democrat Representative Ro Khanna of California says he will fight to keep Mike Johnson as the current Speaker of the House, but only if he gives more taxpayer money to Ukraine. Man, why are these guys so committed to stealing our money and giving it away? It's crazy to me. Oh, I'll only support you if you give more money to Ukraine. Well, I think Johnson is a good guy and Marjorie Taylor Greene has good intentions. She needs to not rock the boat. Things are things are too tight right now. But it is disappointing to me that they did nothing to fix the border and everything they could in order to fix the Ukraine border. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird to me. All right, now, how about Representative Ro Khanna knowing with certainty that the U.S. is being invaded at the southern border, and his only request is take more of that stolen tax money from Americans and give it to Ukraine? Man, Ukraine is just getting all the money. Okay, speaking of Mike Johnson, President Biden has responded to his claim that he proclaimed Easter Sunday as Transgender Day of Visibility. Now, this is something that Barack Obama started 15 years ago, but Biden is saying that he didn't even know that his own staff was pushing this holiday more than Easter. So I don't know if that's true or not, but we've learned two things for certain. First, Biden is not running his own Twitter account. We all pretty much know that, but it's now 100% been confirmed. But the scarier part is Biden has more trans people working in the White House than Christians because the White House has admitted today that they didn't even know Sunday was Easter. So they were literally pushing this transgender visibility day completely unaware that it was Easter, a holiday celebrated by over 1 billion human beings. Absolutely crazy. These people, they don't even know what is going on in our country. They don't even know what's going on in their own White House. So weird. All right, now, Easter was jam-packed with action this year, both good and bad. For instance, remember the migrants who recently rushed the southern border? Well, they've all been released by a judge in El Paso, Texas. As long as the migrants agreed to appear in court, they were told that they could walk free. While I'm all for forgiveness, and catch and release seems to be a miserable failure in cities like New York and Chicago, these people rushed the border. They knocked down our men and women in uniform, our volunteers in the National Guard, and tried to sneak into our country. And the judge literally said, well, you guys, as long as you show up and you are on good behavior, I'll go ahead and let you into the country. I'll go ahead and we'll just go ahead and wipe your record clean. Unbelievable. Speaking of trying to wipe his record clean, remember how Hunter Biden didn't take all of that foreign money and didn't failed to pay $1.4 million in taxes? Literally, the son of the president of the United States of America cheated the IRS $1.4 million. And now he's trying to have his court case thrown out so he can keep the money. But luckily, a judge has just said absolutely not. The president's son, Hunter Biden, has failed to get his tax charges dismissed. He now faces the real possibility of being criminally charged with 3 felony counts and 6 misdemeanors for purposely defrauding the United States of America with tax money. Just as Trump has tried to do, Hunter Biden argued his case is politically motivated, that it's only because he is the president's son that they're trying this hard to get this money out of him. No, that's not true. If anybody owed $1.4 million, you don't think the IRS would be knocking on your door? The United States is broke. We are a bankrupt country. They need every dollar they can get. How else are they going to fund Ukraine? So Hunter Biden is just butthurt that he's not making $80,000 a month from Burisma Energy in Ukraine. And he's just butthurt that they want their $1.4 million. I get it. I pay a lot of money in taxes, but you can't cheat the IRS. They're literally the best collection agency in the entire world with the ability to jail you. And he's about to get hit with felony counts and 6 misdemeanors. Okay, now over in Israel, they have carried out an attack which Breitbart News has dubbed the biggest hit on Iran since Soleimani. Just yesterday, Israel conducted an airstrike which killed many people, including Islamic General Mohammad Reza Zahedi, a top ranking commander in Syria. It's worth noting that Iran has been escalating tensions on their own by attacking an Israeli Navy base. In response, Russia's foreign minister stated, "We strongly condemn this attack on the Iranian consular office in Syria. We consider any attack on diplomatic and consular facilities, the inviolability of which is guaranteed by the relevant Vienna Convention, to be categorically unacceptable." So Russia is saying, hey, we don't like that you attacked another country. Talk about the what is that saying? The kettle calling the pot black. It's hypocrisy, right? All right, now even with their public display of sympathy, new reports show that Russia and Vladimir Putin are deporting Muslim migrants out of Russia at the largest scale ever because of the recent attack on the music night in Moscow, Russia. Putin, who wants to retain confidence from his people, appears to be taking whatever step he can. So, if you shouldn't be in Russia and you are a Muslim or foreign Arab nation, you are being arrested and driven out of the country and thrown into Turkey or some other country. They do not want Muslims in their country ever since that attack in Moscow. Now, the United States Pentagon was quick to tell Iran that the United States had no involvement in the attack on Iran and that Israel and Israel alone attacked Iran. Okay, Judge Merchan in New York has ordered Donald J. Trump to be gagged from talking about details of his case with voters or talking about any family member of those involved in the court case, especially the judge and his daughter. Now, the judge has written that he will order Donald Trump arrested if he breaks this gag order. Trump basically said, "Come and arrest me." Trump immediately took to Truth Social to tell his followers about the arrest threat and how Judge Merchan is trying to silence him while protecting his daughter, who is raising millions of dollars off of his daddy's court case against Donald Trump. So Trump is essentially begging this judge to arrest him, saying, okay, you're going to break my First Amendment right to freedom of speech to protect your daughter's freedom of speech? That's not how things work here in America. And many law professors are saying these gag orders are really weird, even though they dislike Donald Trump. So he's now threatening to arrest Donald Trump if he talks about his daughter or the details of the court case that they don't want leaked to the American people. We'll see what ends up happening. Let me know in the chat. Do you think this judge will actually arrest Donald Trump, or will he just try to hit him with a multi-$100 million fine for using his freedom of speech to tell voters what's really going on? If you think he'll be arrested, I want you to write arrest. And if you think he'll be left alone, write left alone. I would love to hear from you. I mean, this is just so crazy. What the heck is going on in New York? To me, it seems like the judicial system in New York is completely falling apart. Like they would much rather support illegal immigrants and criminals than law-abiding Americans, tax-paying Americans. It's just crazy to me. But let me know, do you think he will be arrested? Okay, now this is my update for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to check out my news broadcast from earlier today. I cover completely different stories from what I covered today. I want to keep you guys in the loop on the truth and what's really going on in our country as they try to steal our money, lie to us, and keep us from hearing conservative voices. Thank you so much. Remember to stay amazing, to be amazing. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video.